Hey guys, don't judge. It's like 3 a.m. over here, but I just finished watching season 2, episode 3 of Breaking Bad, and I have a lot of thoughts. So a lot happened this episode. The boys are back in town, right? Jesse Pinkman is back in town. Walter White is back in town. He's back with his family and whatnot. So in this episode, Walter decided to take the route where... Okay, so we saw last episode, he evaded Hank, rightfully so. If he was seen, like, by the DEA agent, kidnapped by Tuco, or with Tuco, or near Tuco in any capacity, boom, done, jail, that's it. You're done, right? So Jesse and Walter decide they're going to walk to a main road and then split ways. So Walt gets a hitchhike first, and he gets in the back of this human cargo truck, and he gets dropped off at a supermarket. He strips naked and pretends like he's lost all of his memory. So from there, he gets taken to the hospital. Skyler and fam are alerted, and they find him and whatnot, and it's this big reunion. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about was the fact that Skyler is slowly but surely losing her attraction to Walt. She really is. And I do want to say it is understandable. Not only after he, I guess tried to rape her in the last episode, but I feel like it is very hard to feel attracted to someone you view as, feeble and destructible. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? To me, it's kind of like that moment every kid goes through where they watch their parents get older and they realize their parent isn't Superman. And it's like, oh, fuck. But it's a step further because it's like, this is my husband. She probably fell in love with a super dependable, super maybe not outgoing, but super, witty, smart, quick-witted, type of guy who can take care of himself and take care of his wife, right? Skyler was a stay-at-home mom. She did not have to worry about shit because Walt had shit taken care of. Sure, they were kind of poor, but at the same time, he awarded his wife a not luxury, but a life where she got to stay home and take care of the kids. He awarded that for her. So he... in the beginning of their relationship and up until he was diagnosed with cancer, he was this type of man. He was a real man. He stood for protecting his woman. He stood for affording her the life where she can just stay at home and watch the kids. So now she's seeing the man she fell in love with slowly turn into something she doesn't recognize. So not only is this man who was once quick-witted and smart and just full of fucking life, not only is he suffering from bouts of amnesia and whatnot, but he's also weak. You know what I mean? It is so hard to look into the face of someone you love who was a certain way, and this could be before a tragic accident, this could be before something like a cancer diagnosis, this could be before anything, or a traumatic event. You slowly start to you start to fall out of love with that person because maybe all of the traits that you loved them for are directly affected by this traumatic event, by this illness, by this car crash, anything, accident, anything. He climbs up next to her in bed and he tries to kiss her and she rejects it. Honestly, when he came into the room and he dropped his robe, I was thinking he was going to try to get some sex, and I was scared for him because I knew in my soul it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You were just found. You were just found safe. Okay, drop it. Well, you're not getting anytime soon. It's just and it sucks to say because it feels like, okay, yeah, I will love you through thick and thin, through whatever and whatever, which is fucking valid and which is still true of Skyler. She still loves Walt, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I'll always be attracted to you. You are changing. You're different. I have to come to terms with your mortality right now at this moment. I'm not going to want to sleep with you. Now, she could have gave him a little peck. She could have gave him a little kiss, right? She could have done that, but she wasn't feeling it. I mean, I'm with her. Like, I wouldn't be feeling it either. Like, I thought you were dead. I thought you killed yourself. You know what I mean? And to have you show up, fine. Sure, I'm relieved, right? She gives him a hug. But at the same time, I'm like grappling with these facts that your brain is different. And so you may be the same man I fell in love with, but the brain, it's not the same. Like, you're dying in front of me. I'm watching you die. How am I supposed to feel turned on? It's impossible. Another thing I want to point out is how vile and sadistic all of the cops in this show are. Like, it's bordering serial killer level. Like, ew. When Hank gets Tuco's grill as a gift from the rest of the officers, it's giving serial killer trophy. Like, that's disgusting. And even Walt is like repulsed by that. That is disgusting. That is sick. His interview, when the officer was being interviewed on what happened, why was deadly force employed? Why was someone killed? Everything he was saying was the truth, but just the fact that he's a cop, that scene felt like a fucking lie. It felt like everything he was saying was a lie. He's like, oh, well, I pulled up to the scene and the suspect seemed to already be shot in the stomach and he was reaching for a gun, so I fired and I killed him. In any other context, had we not seen what happened, I think it would have been pretty accurate to guess that he was lying. But we saw what happened, so he wasn't lying. But it's interesting how the shit that happens nowadays, you kind of can't take a cop's word for it anymore. You really do need to see like body cam footage and shit when they're saying what happened, why deadly force was employed, why they have another body. You know what I'm saying? What really sucks is Jesse lost all of his money. All of his hard work went to absolutely nothing. And that's one thing that I remember hearing in middle school. Because a police officer would come to us and talk to us like, don't do drugs, don't be in a gang. They came to our little public all-white school saying don't be in a gang and don't do drugs. Whatever. And one of the things the officer said to us was, if you do drugs and we find you and we find your money, we can take it. Because this is money that affected the community negatively. So the cops are entitled to your money if you're a drug dealer, and we get to keep it. And guess what we're gonna buy with it? A new squad car. A couple new squad cars. And I was like, fuck. That would suck ass. And that's exactly what fucking happened to Jesse. One thing I do want to see or like want to know about is how the fuck did Tuco get him? How did he get him? Like, Jesse went into his car and he started driving. You mean to tell me, what, did Tuco like pit maneuver him? How the fuck did he pull him over in a car? Like, how did he get in his car? If Jesse's escaping by car, he should have been fine as long as he stayed inside of his vehicle. Or maybe Tuco walked up on him with a gun or some shit and he was like, I'm not gonna risk it, I'm just gonna get out of the car. I don't fucking know. I would love to know how he fucking got into the car to begin with, to kidnap Jesse and ultimately Heisenberg Walt. I do still kind of find it hard to believe that nobody looked into the baby diaper box. It's in the middle of the floor. There's a fucking shiny pistol in there. Nobody looked into the diaper box. In how many days has he been missing? And how many days has he been in the hospital? Nobody went into the baby room? Really? No, no way. No way. But yeah, Hank is getting closer and closer to the fucking truth. It's getting scary. It's getting scary. He really is connecting the dots. He's watching the video of them stealing the whatever chemical to make the meth more pure. He's rewatching that video. He's aware that it's not Tuco. He's like, these two people are the same people who XYZ. This is all related. Like, he has the fucking stereotypical board with the red lines connecting and shit. Like, he's putting this shit together. And I also fucking laughed very hard at, he called Jesse Pinkman's little meth lady a yeast factory or something like that. That shit had me on the fucking floor. But she's a real one. She's a fucking real one. Because she was not going to snitch on Jesse. She's like, he's been here since Saturday and what? He's been here since Saturday and what? And then after that, she's like, let's go to the Waffle House. He owes her some waffles. All he has is $80 to his name. Damn, that fucking sucks. And then lastly, I just kind of want to point out the grandpa, the Tito, Tuco's uncle. I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't snitch. I mean, I understand the whole, yeah, like, we don't help cops, we don't snitch, blah, blah, blah shit. I understand all of that, but this is your nephew? Yeah, this is your nephew who took care of you. And you're not gonna snitch to get the people who, as far as you know, killed him off of the streets? Or, you know, I could be fucking putting the cart before the horse and this motherfucker somehow is gonna get, you know, those people from Mexico who were coming to take Heisenberg, right, and get them to do meth from over there. Maybe those people are still en route. Maybe those people are still en route and Tito knows that and he's like, I'm gonna send them to bring me their heads. Fuck a police sentence. Fuck a jail or prison sentence. I want their heads. So maybe it's going to be some shit like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is it looks pretty interesting. And I cannot wait to see what fucking happens. I feel so bad for Skyler. I feel kind of bad for Walt. I really do. And I do want to kind of walk back on something I said previously. I was like, okay, well, Walt did have options, right? Like, Walt did have options. His rich friend gave him a way out. I will pay for your chemo. I will pay for your treatment. All of it. Right? His friend said that. And Walt's like, nah, I'm going to do this shit my way. I'm going to cook meth. That's what happened. So I do kind of want to walk back on that because I guess you can kind of say Walt is moving the goalpost, but I mean, it's still the same sort of shit. He's saying not only do I want my chemo paid for, and I'm going to pay it myself, but I want to leave like enough for college for my 2 kids. I want to leave enough for Skyler. I want to leave enough money for X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Like, okay, he wanted to leave enough so she's good to go. And that isn't possible via his friend. Because, I mean, like, sure, he may have offered in that episode to, like, take care of Skyler or whatever she needed and whatnot. And Hank also said, oh, I'll take care of Skyler, whatever she needs. But, you know, people always say that shit. Like, if you need anything, let me know. And then they're hoping to God you don't need anything. And they're hoping to God you don't let them know, right? So I do find it kind of like, okay, well, this isn't something he could have gotten from his friends. So what real options did he have to make sure there was enough money for his 2 kids and Skyler? I don't know. Don't beat me up. I'm not justifying making meth. I'm not justifying selling harmful drugs like that. I'm just saying that, like, he's not really presented with many options to keep Skyler taken care of besides the whole meth route. That's what he's good at. That's what he's good at. That's what he's good at. And he had a fucking point when he said a few episodes back, 2 years ago, if we were drinking beer, it'd be illegal. Look at it now. And then look at us now with weed. Like, weed is legal in almost every state in the U.S. 2 years ago, you smoke weed, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. But now look, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, this is reflecting real life, and things do have their certain cycles. So one last thing I want to bring up is Walt talking to his psychiatrist. I do feel like everything he said was true. So obviously he didn't just run away to get away from his house, right? He was kidnapped. But at the same time, everything he says in that scene of his feelings are true. He does have a fucking hard knock life. He's broke. His son has cerebral palsy. His wife is 7 months pregnant, high risk pregnancy. He is broke. I fucking said that already. He has cancer. He's going to die in 18 months. So it makes perfect fucking sense that he's overwhelmed and he like reached far past his threshold of stress and he's like, fuck, I need an out. And I feel like that's why the psychiatrist was like, yeah, okay, I fucking understand that. Like, you might, yeah, I understand the bender you fucking went on because you're going through a lot. And so I just thought, like, I thought he was being 100% honest in that scene, even though he, like, lied saying that he went to get away for a while. Everything else he said was true. Like, he is overwhelmed. He is stressed. He is tired. He can't really face his family. He can't show up for his family the way he needs to, especially since he's getting weaker and whatnot, right? And so I just want to say bravo to Walter White and Skyler for being the best actors in this whole fucking show, because Meth Lady, she, you know, whatever, she's supposed to be a meth addict, so it's like, how can you fuck up that role? Even if you're kind of cringe and kind of weird and bad at acting, it's still good because you're supposed to be a crack addict, right? Like, a meth, you're not supposed to be all there. Jesse, his acting is kind of weak sometimes, I'm not gonna fucking lie, I don't care. And then all of the extras kind of suck. Hank is pretty good, but all of the extras kind of suck real bad, and I gotta remember, okay, this is a different time, but still. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I'm so fucking tired. I fucking look tired. Ooh. But yeah, comment, like, and subscribe. Come back for the next video. And the next video, believe it or not, may be me starting One motherfucking Piece. So if you want to see One Piece reactions, come on, let's start watching that shit together. On that note, goodbye.